Hello and welcome to the next lecture. Today we're going to speak about asynchronous messaging inside your app. So there might be times when you want to notify some part of your app, for example, that is responsible for messaging, for the mail, sending emails to users. So you want to notify this part of the app that, hey, there is a such event occurred. For example, I don't know, the Ubuntu user, and so do something with it and maybe give me a response as well. So this is done via messaging bus, via event bus. This is such a pattern. Many people call this anti-pattern, but I don't think it is. This is really nice and helpful structure that can help you to make a messaging inside your app. So I have here a standard structure. We have a main plugin create, tech.now, async messaging, and we'll have a tech.now greeting resource this time, and the path will be /greeting. So we'll do the messaging for the greeting. So we'll send the message with the request, let's say, to get the greeting, and then we'll return it back to us with the result, right? So yeah, we have here, the only extension that we have here is a vertex. And let's create a project, and let's open it in IntelliJ IDEA as well. All right, so you can see that we created a project with one extension called Quarkus Vertex. So you can see the POM XML is, as always, the same. We have a REST easy, REST assured, G5, and then Quarkus Vertex. And let's go to the source. So we also have a greeting resource, which is as default. So we return hello, and we want to modify it to use a service bus. So firstly, let's know how to send a message, right? So to send the message, you just only need to inject one of the event buses, and there is few of them. So be aware that there is 3 different types of event bus, each of which depends on the type of the what you use to communicate. So there is actually 4 of them. So we will use a mutiny. So there is also Axel, which is outdated, I think, and then there is a default one. So and also a reactive X, which is also a good option. So the reactive X is a standard, the RX Java, let's say, the reactive Java, and so the mutiny is like it's a little bit different implementation. So we'll use a mutiny this time, and I think I will do it this way so that you will know that it's this one. Oops, because this might take a problem later through the video. So I'll do it like this. So how to use it, and it's super easy. So you just call so you have different types how you can send a message. So there is a send and forget. So there is an address, which is the name of the string that will be used for the consumers to consume. That's super easy. So this can be a greeting, for example, or something like this. And then the second part is as you can see, the message, basically, right? So you can put a message, and then the other side will receive it. And you can see that we have a send and forget. So this is one option, right? Send and forget. So you send the message and you forgot about the result, right? So you don't expect to have a result back. And this is really helpful, good for notifying. There is also a publish option, which you can use. So this will publish or send a message to all of the users. So if you have a broad, let's say you have a mailing service, and then like maybe a socket notifications or WebSocket notifications, and then you have a push notifications or something like this. So this will be helpful because to send to all the users. So you might ask how to send and get back, and you can see that it's outdated, and I think you can use it, but there is the method called request. So this is basically the thing that you will use. So the good idea is to use here a string to specify what you want to receive back, and you send the address, and so the address will be, for example, in our case, let's make it greeting, right? Greeting, and then the object will be, let's say that we want to receive a request path or query param, right? Called name, string name, right? So we'll send the name to the request, and we expect it to return a publisher, or in our case it's a uni interface with the string, right? So we can put it like this, uni string, and we just return it back like this. So one second, I'll import the class. So here we'll need to call few more arguments. So on item we want to apply a message body. So what it does is that when we receive an item, we take a body, so that's actually a message instead of a string. So we just get a body, which is a string in our case. And so yeah, so we request or send an event on the greeting with the argument called name. So this will be name of the person, for example. We expect to have a string, and then we receive an item. We apply that we want to have only body, which is a string. So the response will come as a message. So I can show you here item. So item, you can see that this is a message of a string, and here you can specify, for example, if you want to get a body, right? But you can replace it with a lambda. So yeah, so this part is done. So this is basically how you can send, in this case, a request. So additionally, you can send and forget, right? So you just want to send the same message to somebody and forget about it. You don't need the output, right? So you do not need to get a response from it. Or you can publish, which is something similar, but it will send to all the listeners there. So yeah. Okay, so now let's go to the consumer. We'll create a greeting service, something that we already know, greeting service. So let's make it application scoped as well. And so here we'll create a public, in our case we'll return a string, public string, let's say on message, whatever the name it is, and then the string name, right? So the idea is that let's imagine that we call this method, and from here, instead of this asynchronous structure, so and we want to return let's say hello plus name, right? Something like this, nothing special. So now you can just call the consumes event from the IO vertex. And here, so value should be our string here that we specified. In our case, it's greeting. And then you can also specify that should be blocking, as you can see here. But we don't need to do it. But if you have a blocking interface, so it will, I don't know, maybe do some requests which will last long enough, or do some IO operations. Then I suggested to put a blocking here. So yeah, so this is a super simple example how it will work. So you receive a string, you do some operations and return a string back. So you can see it's super easy, and it should be already working. So nothing additional needs to be set up. But we'll see a few more options with this. So let's see what we can also do with this line, right? So we can also use on message asynchronous. So you can use here a completion stage if you want to with a string. So this will work as well. The other option is to use a uni like this, uni of string. So we use it already in this service. So I'll make it a little bit larger. So you can create a uni if you need to. Uni create from, and then item, and you just put the hello plus name like this. You can also replace this string with a message, as we actually covered it before. So you can use a message as well if you need to, because everything is wrapped around this message when you send it. So instead of a name, so you can put here name body if you need a string. So this is also an option, and you can have as well a name address or something like this. You can see that there is an address, reply address, headers, and other stuff. So we won't use it, but this is just helpful to know how to use it if needed. So you can go asynchronous and reactive if needed. So here you can see that we have a message. So let's test how it's working, right? So let's go to the greeting resource, and let's actually start our app, right? So let's go to the async messaging, and main Quarkus dev, like this. Okay, so let's go to 8080 and let's go to the hello, and user equals, was it user actually? 1 second, I don't remember. Name, sorry. Name equals, let's say, Dmytro. And not found. Okay, so we have a hello. Okay, the path is greeting, sorry. So greeting name Dmytro. And you can see that we have this problem here. Okay, so one more thing that we need to add is a dependency called Quarkus REST easy mutiny, so it will support the mutiny requests, right? And yeah, so now we can just go to the terminal and start our Quarkus environment, and now it will so you can see, so we have a REST easy mutiny. We can go to the postman and call the get, and you have a hello Dmytro. So everything working fine as expected. So now you know how to use Vertex asynchronous messaging inside the app. This is also an alternative for the messaging queue if needed. If you don't need to persist it, or you don't have a lot of services, if you use only one. For example, if you have only Quarkus, you can use this one as well. And yeah, so I'll see you next video. Thank you for watching.